What's up guys, welcome to Poor Man Mods. I just yanked out the 2JZ GE out of my 2002 IS300 because I'm doing a 1UZ VVTi swap in it. And I'm trying to do pretty much a step-by-step for the whole swap. I'm gonna be learning along the way with you guys, so we're gonna figure it out together, but I will try my best to do the swap portion step-by-step. But in this video, before I show you any of the swap, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want to go over the baseline numbers of this car because I wanted to measure the performance improvement of the 1UZ VVTi. So I did a Draggy quarter-mile run. I went down to JE Import Performance and SIKKY Manufacturing and put this car on the dyno and their corner scales to get a baseline reading for that. Then I did a fuel economy test that didn't reveal promising numbers, but we're gonna go with that anyway. So the very first thing I did was take this thing out and do a Draggy run, and the results, not impressive. So I did a Draggy run with the IS300, and I did not record it because the last time I did this in this area, I got a bunch of crap from locals about it saying how dangerous it was. So I decided not to film it, and it's not exciting anyway because it's so slow. If you're not familiar with Draggy, it's a GPS device that you put in the car, and there's an app that it connects to, and it gives you all the data for quarter mile, 0 to 60, eighth mile, 1,000 foot, all that. Really good data. I'll have a link for it in the description down below. It is an awesome tool. So I took this out and did a run with air conditioning on, traction off, and it ran a whopping 16.2 seconds at 85.3 miles an hour. And keep in mind, I do my Draggy runs in the same spot every time, and it is a slight uphill, so that affects the speed, but this is a pretty slow car. And it was 78 degrees. Now here's what's interesting. Some people say that air conditioning does not rob horsepower at all. In this car, that might be a different case. Check out these numbers. So last year, when I did the header and the drive shaft install and all the subframe bushings, after I did all of that with this car, I did another Draggy quarter-mile run, and that was in the winter. And at that time, it ran 15.48 at 89 miles an hour with traction off and air conditioning off. Now granted, it was 28 degrees instead of 78, but that is 0.8 of a second faster in the winter with air conditioning off. That was the only difference. Depending on when this swap gets done, whether it's winter or summer, I will try to mimic these results as best as possible, but you know, the 16.2, that is really bad. 15.4 is more believable for this, but just keep these two runs in mind, and we'll see what this car does after I put the 1UZ in. Hopefully, it's faster. After I did the Draggy, I called my friends down at JE Import Performance and SIKKY Manufacturing and set up an appointment to put it on their dyno and their corner scales. And the horsepower actually surprised me. Of course, I filmed it on the dyno, and I wasn't expecting it to make more than 170 horsepower, but it actually surprised me, and here's the results. So 191 horsepower, more than I was expecting, and I feel like that 191 correlates more with that 15.4 second run, not the 16.2. But like I said, we'll see what happens when I get the 1UZ in. I'm hoping to pick up about 80 to 100 horsepower with the 1UZ. Now, maybe not as much now that the car is making 191 horsepower, or it did before I pulled the motor out. I'm hoping to make like 270, 280 with the 1UZ. So 80, 90 horsepower gain, pretty healthy gain. And what I'm really excited about is the next part. I put the car on the corner scales down there, and I got corner weights and the weight distribution, and I forget the numbers off the top of my head, forgive me, but I think it's something like 1,700 pounds up front and 1,500 pounds in the rear. It's like 53% of the weight is up front. And I'm expecting to drop about 100 pounds with the 1UZ. According to everything that I read, you know, engine weights and all that, the 1UZ should be about 100 pounds less, and I will be deleting air conditioning. So if we can get that 53% down to like 52, 51, or even 50%, if we can make this thing perfectly balanced or close to it, like 51%, that would be awesome. Take 100 pounds off the front of the car. That will improve all aspects of performance. So a lot of people ask why I didn't just turbo the 2J. That's one of the big reasons. Swapping this 1UZ in, theoretically on paper, from what I've read, should drop about 100 pounds off the nose, which will improve braking, handling, acceleration, fuel economy, everything. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. The car already feels balanced, but if it gets even more balanced, it's gonna drive amazing. At least I hope it does. And so after I got the corner weights, I did a fuel economy test. Now, I wanted to do something that was repeatable, and that's why I did what I did, but I didn't get a favorable result. But I know daily driving this car around my backcountry roads, it gets like 23-ish to the gallon. 25, 26 on the highway. But when I did this fuel economy test, I kind of messed up in the beginning, but I filled up my tank and the car sat for a week or two and I totally forgot. And then I went to go fill it up again. There was 6 miles on the odometer since I last filled it up. So went to the gas station in my town, put like a squeeze of fuel in it to top off the tank. Went on like a 23 or a 33 mile drive. I forget the numbers by now, but I did a mixture of, you know, backcountry roads, country highway, and also freeway to get a total average of what the fuel economy would be. And went to a gas station near my shop, filled it up, and, you know, doing the math, it said 33 miles per gallon. I'm not buying 33 miles per gallon. I'm thinking 23, but 33 is what we got. So what I will do after the 1UZ is in, I will completely replicate that test. I will fill the tank up, drive 6 miles, top it off again at the same pump, at the same gas station, do the same drive, go to the same gas station, top it off and do the math, and we'll see if that number improves or gets worse. I'm hoping it improves. I'd be totally fine if it just stayed the same. But those are my baseline numbers. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully within the next coming weeks, we will be releasing videos for the 1UZ swap. And if you have not seen any of the videos where I rebuilt the 1UZ, I highly recommend that. The motor looks absolutely amazing now. So I did a full step-by-step on rebuilding a 1UZ. I recommend you checking that out. I'll link to that down below as well. And we'll see you guys in the next video in this series. Thanks for watching.